on the day.
I think some Elder Titan could be a contested hero in this series.
Yeah, already
Shen.
taken out the Bristleback too from LGD.Forever Young that we've seen a lot of.
And that Shen ban that we've seen so many times against FTD.
And then the Afu Io, of course, is the last question. So we'll see. Are they even thinking about it? Because we're getting down to the end of their pick time. Will they dip into reserve to consider laying through the out? No, they will not. Okay. That was the question. Because it didn't work for LFY, right? They lost with their IO.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Weird bans? I guess the Mirana is one that's maybe a little bit weird. We've seen a lot of teams let it through. This gives up Sand King Leshrac if they want to run something like that. What else have we seen a lot of?
They've just copied the bans that were used against FTD by IG.
Oh,
so.
Well, pretty safe opener there. First pick ET. This is something LFY did actually against FTD in the group stage.
Okay.
Who won that matchup in the group stage?
FTD did. They won that best of one. Let's see the lineups. FTD ran Mirana, Beastmaster, Skywrath, Nyx, Shadow Fiend, picked in that order, and LFY ran Elder Titan, Bane, Leshrac, DK, and Brewmaster.
So this is the trade that they do. They take the ET, but that gives up Lesh Sand King, which I still think is fine. I think that there's enough other partners with Elder Titan that this is a pretty solid combo. I don't know if you want to go back for something now like the...
I think the Warlock is the question mark right now. It's just like, how do you want to handle this aggression of the Leshrac Sand King? Do you want to just like commit in for the Warlock right now and just double down on heavy team fight? But then you can get the Storm games start to happen, right? Where it's like, okay, both their supports have no instant stun.
Yeah. It does seem like, just looking at their match history, FTD seems to favor second pick, I think.
Yeah, that was
their
interesting.
Second, yesterday in that BO2 again, or sorry, BO3 against IG, it was Radiant second pick for both games.
So likely that means they just favor Radiant.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But I guess used to getting second pick, maybe is the way.
Exactly.
If you're looking at their history, it's very disproportionate. It's maybe like 1/3, 2/3 in favor of having second pick.
Yeah.
Definitely some teams who really like having that last pick of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see they played their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 of the last 10 games have been on Radiant.
Yeah.
So, and they lost their game on Dire.
Wow. Okay.
They lost their last 2 games on Dire, actually.
Huh.
So these guys are big on the Radiant.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. This is, I like this change up a lot. This sort of answers the Storm thing a little bit. It's not amazing. They can still take like a 5 position with Disable. I don't know if For the Dream even want to go for it now.
It also, I don't know, it makes me wonder how confident are they in terms of like this not just purely position 1 Void. Like the offlane Void was amazing for Team Serenity. You know, it was their carry player playing, but he was definitely more of a utility Void. He was just like, he wasn't getting top of the net worth or anything. He was kind of handing it off. And he was just very good on those chronos, making it work.
Inflame has played it a few times for them, so we'll see where that ends up, which is kind of the value of this pick, is that it's not just like a core hero picked up in the first 2. It's a flex core hero that can go multiple places, pairs very well with the ET for the obvious ulti combo reasons, and it does look pretty nice here. You're forced to burst him before he can time walk away if you're a Sand King Leshrac kind of combo.
It's kind of a little bit of a weird if it's like ET4 with Faceless Void 3, because then you're probably sticking like your 4 position in the safe lane. Like, can ET and Void lane together?
I think typically when that happens, they do like ET and like well, it would be a Mirana. Obviously she's banned, but that's like a really classic combo because then they can just have a 1 Mirana who's ranged.
Could do like a Wind Ranger maybe with ET.
The next level.
Regardless of the positions, you've got your late game pretty safe with a Void ET opener. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's LFY recognizing the trend in this Chinese playoffs meta. Big team fights. Just whoever can fight, secure these Roches, take these big objectives around these big ultimates seem to have an advantage, and Void ET gives that to you.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about not banning the Naga? I thought maybe, I mean, ET and Void?
It's been a recurring theme. Looking at these past matches, Naga has slipped through a lot of games where she's kind of ignored or banned in that couplet, but
I think they're just dead set on Sand King or Lesh being a 4. Like, I to make a Naga fit into this draft, you'd have to run Sand King as a 3 and Leshek as a 2 or a 5.
Yeah, I would think a 5. I mean, it's not that bad. Like net and into split and everything isn't a terrible duo. I mean, considering just how like well Naga plays versus both ET and Void. I mean, you can argue that ET is very good against Naga because if it's like a sleep initiation, he can disrupt it. But I think more so like if you're using Song to disrupt the Chrono, I don't think there's a whole lot ET would be able to do. But
kind of goes both ways. Back to the Silencer.
Okay. That'll be their answer instead then.
Well, I say back to the Silencer. Not a hero that we've seen FTD play, but we were graced with the Silencer's presence in the playoffs yesterday. And we actually saw him look pretty good across 2 different series, I think.
Yeah, Serenity looked very good with the hero.
I think that when you're in these playoff games, too, they're watching other stuff, seeing what works, and then emulating it, too. Like,
it's true.
I think that happens across regions also. You see that there's a lot of pro players that are, playing in these qualifiers, and there's watching these matches as well. You can see them in Twitch streams, checking it out, and I'm sure in-game as well.
Yeah.
And there's that Warlock you're talking about.
Yeah, they get it pretty late, too.
And a PL.
Instant PL. They didn't even wait to see what was picked there. They knew they wanted PL regardless. Put the pressure back on LFY to draft quickly because they're using up their reserve time already, so I like these fast picks coming out from FTD.
Yeah, very nice.
PL is a very fast-paced hero. It punishes these long cooldowns. I think that's what you go look at with this Void ET opener is, all right, these guys, whenever they use Chrono, with Earthsplitter, they're useless for like the next 2 minutes. Warlock, another hero. Yep. Useless for 2+ minutes after he uses ultimate. How do you actually punish this? And the PL's a hero that's always ready to fight once he has Diffusal.
Well, another big cooldown to add to the mix. LFY gets some sieging power.
Yep.
Somebody for the driver's seat in the mid lane there.
Good pick, though, against the PL. Having the Splash Dragon later on gives you at least a hero that doesn't care too much about PL, super tanky, doesn't care too much about the PL damage output. The illusions just do 0 damage.
Natural Mjolnir builder, too.
Yep.
Yeah, really into that.
Not sure. I love the PL snap pick. I like it to cutting down time, but looking at it with the Faceless Void here, it's kind of revealing what the carry matchup is going to be early on, whereas Void can still flex back and forth, and they're saving that now as well. So if they want to this last pick, they can counter pick, and I guess then they have to worry about another counter.
Yeah. Can you imagine if they actually took Tide there in terms of these cooldowns? My God.
She's sort of fast draft though.
So looks like safe lane Void.
Yeah, and I think it's like off lane Zeus, probably paired with like the ET.
Inflame does like playing Zeus. He plays these more unorthodox 3-position farmers.
Okay.
Inflame also plays ET though, so we can wait and see.
That's true.
I forgot about that.
That is a very good point.
I like this last pick Zeus though. I think it's the final piece of damage that they were missing. Felt like they had a lot of good control and not a lot of burst, and now with the ET especially, they've got good setup for this Zeus to do quite a bit of work.
Man, if ET's near to like the Chrono though, and this PL, its armor is just gonna evaporate. The Magic Amp 2 from the Spirit with a Zeus and like Chrono damage with just like the time lock.
And Fatal Bonds.
Tough.
Yeah.
Like, Fatal Bonds is the least damage amp part of this draft, and it's like crazy to think about.
I look at FTD and think, man, is there a lot of pressure on this Silencer? Regardless of this 5th pick, this Silencer needs to have some pretty epic globals for this draft to work.
LFI's lineup looks pretty damn scary with their team fight, but I'm just not sold on all these long cooldowns, and the pace that FTD could play is, I think, pretty hard to deal with. Their lanes look very strong as well, whereas I think LFY have some kind of weaknesses with theirs. Like Void, not like a strong lane or anything. They're going to get the Storm. The PL just needs to get tank up, get super beefy so that he can just frontline and Storm can just kind of be that big hero killer this game, I feel. And this is just a counter pick to the Zeus. I think they recognize, this Zeus, whether it's a 3 or 4, we have to address it. We need somebody to get on top of him, and Storm is a hero that's like probably the best counter in the game to Zeus.
Feels like a mediocre Storm game. They don't have a lot of hard disable, but they've got enough. If he gets caught, especially if Zeus gets Nimbus, they'll definitely have some control to make this Storm's life somewhat miserable.
They've got the silence to back them up. I like that.
That's
Storm can
true.
always ball in with the silence of global, but do agree, like between Chrono and Dragontail, there is ample disable to actually be able to deal with Storm.
To me, this looks way too much like the draft that they lost with, and I think the Storm Spirit is worse than the TA in this situation. So to me, I'm kind of favoring LFY just because of the execution problems that FTD had last time doing the same thing. And I feel like going high ground versus this draft is way harder than the one they were up against in the previous match, and they lost that. So I like LFY's chances to kind of just outperform here.
I'm with the team fight. I'm putting my money on LFY.
All right. Well, thank you, you lovely, lovely gentlemen. And we'll see you at the conclusion to this one. Again, this is the lower bracket matchup right now. China qualifiers, LFY versus For the Dream. They're playing for a shot at TI, but first they got to go through IG, and first, before that, even each other. Parker?
This should be a good one. I love the way these two droughts match up because it is two very contrasting styles where one does have that big wombo combo team fight. The other is going to be able to play much faster pace, doesn't have quite the same team fight presence on the FTD side, but it has plenty of ways to make up for it elsewhere with strong lanes, with strong pickoff, and with just itemization. So very interested to see how this one unravels.
Absolutely. And you're talking about it, the In-Flame Zeus going to be paired together with Afu in the ET out here. Kind of an interesting lineup. We haven't seen this lane, I feel like, that often in Pro Dota, but it seems pretty strong.
They're going to swap it up. They're going to send Sanking Lesh bottom on the Radiant side. It looks like they do not want Silencer plus PL against Zeus. The harass potential of this Zeus ET is pretty damn scary, so you want to put your stronger lane of the two against it, and that will be the PL, who will reveal himself up top. PL wants to lane against this Void. That's where he's saying is the place to farm.
Able to steal away that bounty rune. James gets another, so 2 for 2 trading.
Oh, got the Doppelganger level 1 on PL just to get away from some right-click damage.
Interesting.
Well, I said 2 for 2 bounty runes, no one getting a big edge. Mid lane's going to be the Storm versus DK matchup. That matchup pretty damn even. Should expect to see both these players get decent farm. I don't really think there should be a big lead for either one of the two.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, down bottom, we've talked a bunch of times. We get the inaugural Kale coming up from these folks. I guess you just try and go here. Do you have to go on the ET or the Zeus? Because if you try and go on the Zeus, ET can stomp, right?
He can. I think you still prefer to go on the Zeus just because he's way squishier. ET has the stout shield. Yeah, you could do either one, but it's really whoever's out of position more.
Okay.
But if given the choice and they're both in a similar position, you almost always would go on the Zeus. And then just try and juke the ET stun, or try and make it so that it only hits one of your two heroes.
And up top lane, as these players are getting back into it, an easier time. It's always sort of an okay thing laning against a Faceless Void. I never feel like you're really going to be able to find a kill there.
Yep.
But likewise, it's going to be really hard to kill him.
Oh, absolutely. Warlock Void, he's got Time Walk and Shadow Ward Heal. There is just no way I feel like this FTD dual lane gets kills on Warlock Void anytime in the first 5 to 8 minutes. With that said, I'd probably just curse it. We'll probably see some crazy shenanigans up here, but it should just be a CS battle lane, which Void does pretty well in because he's got the Phantom Rush. You can use that to help give him some easier last hit potential with the bonus agi.
Keep the majority of our eyes down here on the south lane.
Yep.
Trading hits as Afu is going to take a walloping.
Yep. This is the lane where most of the fighting and harassing is going to happen. With that said, I feel like Zeus is a much weaker laner now that the 7.17 changes happen. 90 mana cost instead of 75. They're going to hit a 1-2 stun combo. It doesn't do enough damage to get Inflame down too low. As Magic Stick already on the Sand King as he's healing back up.
And likewise, got to be careful about that. This is Sand King taking a good bit of burst damage here. Zeus still just level 1. Is going to salve up himself. And obviously with some mangoes, you could pop it to get some harass out. But it's a lot of damage in ET, in fact. It's just going to go down.
Just not respecting the Sand King's ability to heal up and then go back in. He had stick charges, so he didn't even have to pop his mango. And this is the problem with the double spam lane with these magic sticks. They're able just to have all this extra free mana to play around. The health is kind of nice, but the mana from magic stick is the much bigger part in the early game laning stage. You can pretty much spam your spells whenever they're off cooldown against a hero like Zeus because you're just always getting the mana back.
Nice double stack there from the ET. That's going to help them out a little bit, and maybe a blessing in disguise that he ended up dying. Probably not. You don't want to die at all if possible.
It's got a haste rune, which you probably won't be able to do too much with. Wants to just contest this pull. And when you have these dual lane versus dual lanes, being able to access and use your pulls is always going to be important as well.
And they're going to have to come over and deal with this one slightly, it looks like, as they will be caught now again by the Burrow Strike. The Split Earth is there. The Stomp connects on both of them. They're going to decide to go on to one first, and James, almost dead there, is going to fall. Now Beyond, out of mana, does have another mango if he wants to pop it, as well as 8 stick charges. Going to try and take down the Zeus. In flame, in some trouble, and now who's going to battle it through? Afu needs to get some extra damage with the Spirit, but he hasn't thrown it out as of yet.
Flash is back. They could get this kill.
Oh,
Afu,
no.
are you sure about this one?
They keep going for more, and he does have 9 stick charges. Zeus is coming back as well. The battle continuing slightly, but FTD put the kibosh on it.
FTD coming out on top there. Alfie doing a nice job to get the first kill using all the bonus damage and move speed, but going for that second kill. He's a madman. You just can't afford to do that. As LFY find themselves one up top. Definitely no kill potential for FTD, but it is LFY with a couple lucky bashes. Can always find a kill on someone like a Silencer. But yeah, Alfie just not respecting the Leshrac respawn time there. You've got to assume the second Leshrac respawns, he's going to TP right back to lane, and there was nothing like crazy or unexpected about that. Alfie just kind of fed away his life there.
Yeah. Well, and rather unfortunate. You want to make stuff happen, but when you step that too far forward, pretty easy to punish. You mentioned the bashes up top lane. Because the Warlock can constantly heal, you don't need as many points in Time Walk, so Void's getting the maxed out bash build, which I like a lot.
Yeah, I think this is decent. He can just rush a Mask of Madness, and then when you hit level 6, level 7, you have like max bash. And your Chronocy with Mask of Madness has way higher kill potential, so definitely a good way to play around this. Right now, though, FTD, the Storm's kind of been winning mid lane ever so slightly, but that's kind of changing because he's out of regen. He's going to be forced to bring out a salve. Didn't find the rune at 4 minutes, which would have been a big pickup for him. Instead, he's probably going to look for like a 5-minute bounty rune to refill his bottle.
Bottom lane yet again. They find the Sand King. That one a lot better since you saw the Leshrac that was pulling off to the side.
Yeah, I think the Dire side caught that with their Observer Ward. They had a sliver of vision there, so able to know that they can safely go on Sand King. No rebuttal play. As Leshrac does have a bottle, so I like this. We saw like a couple games where there was like 2 or 3 bottles, but when you can actually be like trading kills and TPing back to lane and refilling bottles. I say they didn't refill the bottle, they messed it up.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Maybe he like left the fountain before he TP'd. But we'll see if they can get this kill anyways, even without the bottle.
Oh, there's the stun. They're trying to hit onto James there as they're battling for the runes.
Now he has refilled his bottle.
This is a problem. Afu is going to go down, and they can't get the other bounty rune either.
Yep. Could have left it for the Lesh there to refill his bottle once again. Speaking of which, Storm did the exact same thing. He grabbed the top bounty rune, so really nice in the early game for these mid-bottle heroes that there's not only a 4-minute rune, there's a guaranteed 5-minute rune. Like, you know exactly where a rune 100% is going to be, so you can almost always secure a bounty rune to refill bottles, which really helps out your laning stage. So Storm has been slightly overtaken by DK on CS despite having a CS advantage early. Typical stuff. DK, once you get your Soul Ring, you're just able to spam your Breathe Fire, and there's not much Storm can do to contest like at least the denies at that point.
So Warlock died up there top battling for the rune, and now they're going to make a smoke rotation here on Love You, Love Me. And the 6, though, he got level 6. He had this ball away if he wanted to, but Storm in trouble, just going to die.
Yeah, he should have just used the Bolt Lightning there. He thought he could get in between the 2 stuns, but he was just on the edge of it. Goes down. It looks like they will find a return kill onto Yao, but ET may be able to stop this one from happening.
Super is here as well. They're doing a good bit of damage, and Yao living through it with that heal. 2 points in it early on. Raji is done.
Yep. Ends up dying to the Fatal Bombs or something with the Leshrac linked to him and taking damage, so really nicely done by LFY finding a few kills there. Things were starting to look slightly Radiant favored in the laning stage until those rotations, so very important that they could find a couple of kills, including the big one on the Storm, the hero that FTD are looking to kind of win them this game. Like the PL as a carry is going to be nice in this kind of constantly fighting aggressive hero, but we could very well see like a Diffusal, Heart, BKB type build where he just goes full on survivability because he doesn't have to do a huge amount of damage.
Could be very nice for them for sure in this one, and you can just kind of rely upon that Storm Spirit to carry you through in the damage department.
Yep.
Does look like Super now getting close to his second Elder Dragon form.
Yeah, it did a tiny bit of damage to the Tier 1 tower with the first, but more importantly, getting those kills. Things will continue per the status quo with the laning stages kind of dragging on even into the 7-minute mark. Team's still sticking to their dual lanes as Epicenter coming in.
Good bit of damage there onto Inflame. He is still living through this, though, unable to survive. One more hit from Lesh, not going to be there in time.
Okay. I think Lesh used his stun on Afu to stop the stomp. I didn't actually see what happened there because I thought there would be a follow-up stun onto the Zeus, but without the follow-up stun, they didn't have the damage.
Monet. That was very, very close to going down there. The heal from the Warlock, saving him almost nothing. And now actually jumps away as well, wants to keep himself alive.
like the PL build, maxing Phantom Rush. I think they're almost always seeing this build nowadays, but particularly with the bigger emphasis on last hits and denies and the laning stage, the Phantom Rush is just better for last hitting. The Spirit Line's better harass tool, but it just isn't enough against the Warlock heal to fully zone avoid.
Yeah, focus on that, as you were saying. Last hitting is the utmost important there instead. They have level 6 on the Zeus now. They also saw a regen rune stolen away from the Storm Spirit by the DK, which is never what you want to have happen.
They've done a really good job controlling runes on LFY's side. I feel like every time 2-minute runes are coming up, they have their offlaners going to the runes, they have DK going to another rune, and it just feels like Storm has not been able to get... I don't think he's gotten a single rune since maybe like the 2-minute one. I don't even know if he got the 2-minute rune. I mean, he didn't have bottle then anyway, so getting 0 runes as a mid laner is not fun. Just the bounty rune, I think, is what refilled his bottle that one time.
Yeah. Well, and this is where I think the lineup from LFY starts to get a little bit scarier. You still have to worry about the Sand King Leshrac combination, especially if there's any TP rotations places, but it is going to be now a smoke gank.
They're just using their smokes in the early game. I don't mind this. I feel like smokes are not as value as they used to be for these like mid-game timing
They see
smokes.
Storm.
Yeah. Can they get the kill? They don't have an instant stun. I mean, other than a tiny little mini stun coming out from the Zeus.
And they're just going to instead give this over. Raji is going to be the one who dies, and they're going to use the Dragon Form now to push this tower.
Yeah, they were kind of swinging mid. I think they were hoping that they could collapse on mid with DK getting a stun. Top lane, though, they get the kill on Monet. Leshrac shows up with the Sand King. Chain stuns, I imagine, from Sand King Lesh. They're going to look to trade tier 1 mid for tier 1 top. Definitely the bigger tower being taken top, and if LFY are quick, they could theoretically still defend the top lane. Problem is they're just not really set up for it.
Yeah, they do have Dragon Form still going. TP is there for Super with the tower falling already. Looks like they're going to make the walk up there. And
yeah, Afu's TP to the tier 2, so this means anyone TPing to this tier 1 still has that short TP duration.
They just got an Arcane Rune on Zeus, no TP, but he does have ulti if they want to fight this.
Yeah, they're going to defend this. I imagine FTD are going to back up. They won't get the tower trade, but some decent damage.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world for them, but definitely a small win for LFY, taking a key tower in the early game here. But that's one of the big things that DK is always going to add to your lineups.
Well, and the big thing, too, is now you've got, like, extra space here. Super is farming away down the jungle. You've got the Zeus that's farming down bottom. And they're actually going to rotate the PL out of this lane and instead try and put some more pressure on with the Sand King Leshrac duo together.
PL does not want to be bottom. He just took 2 lightning bolts, got brought down super low. He's,
oh my god,
almost killed off there. Zeus was looking for... He was hoping that PL sent the real one at him and didn't juke with the illusion, because then he had another bolt, but PL does sal back up. He just got pummeled. Anytime he comes to lane, you just cannot lane against Zeus at this point by yourself. If you're going to be bottom lane as PL, you need to have teammates with you.
They're going to have Dragon Form back up again, and they're already glyphing for this. Top lane, they find themselves the Void, but not going to be able to follow that up with anything. Afu's in the area anyways.
Here comes Silencer down bottom with Global. They want to fight this one. It may be time to bring in the Storm Spirit. 3 heroes down here. DK's popped his ultimate, starting to get this tower nice and low. This is the LFY. Let's just take these tier 1s as early as possible, but here come FTD to defend.
They're keeping that catapult alive as well. The stun is there. Global to follow it up as well. In some trouble. Super dropping down very low with the pipe heal. It was not enough, but the stomp hits onto 5. He doesn't have ulti, but they have the Warlock Golem. It's going to be so much damage with the Fatal Bonds as well. Can they kill these heroes off? They have the Epicenter out already, trying to bring them down low, but the Chronosphere is there to follow it up. They find themselves the Storm Spirit. Now they have the mana. They have the ulti. Oh, triple kill for Yao.
We talked about the LFY team fight and how much better they are with their lineup, and holy crap, Afu with a 5-man Echo Stomp. Good Chrono to follow it up, and by then he'd had an Earth Splitter ready to go as well. Absolutely destroys FTD, who once Global is down, kind of have to lay off. Like, they needed to just not take that fight once they got that kill in the DK, they had to back off immediately, but they were already caught by the Echo Stomp. Great play from LFY to get those counter kills.
My god. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is that if you just... I think that's the thing that's so strong about DK, is that he goes in, he like baits you out, a lot of chaos is created, but you need everybody to kill him. And with these heroes, Leshrac, the Sand King, you get in close to have to do the damage. It becomes a problem. So we're going to have to watch for that on FTD if their movement is going to...
Yeah, ET loves playing against these heroes that are getting in nice and close, and it's very easy to find multiple hero stuns, as we just saw. I don't think we'll see another 5-man Echo Stomp. That's probably one of the first 5-man Echo Stomps I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
As, at least in a Pro Dota game. Sanking at bottom. Needs to be a little bit careful here with the sentry being planted.
Well, in Flame. Does need to be careful as well. There are 3 heroes in the area, and Storm... Well, they bring in Afu as well.
I'll split it back up soon.
Jump forward. He is trying to go for the ball, but with Super in the area, he has to get himself out of there right now.
Nice balls from Storm. Bowled forward. Knew he had to bowl again to dodge the ET stun, and they make sure no one gets caught by the Stomp or the DK Dragon Tail. With that said, LFY, despite using Chrono, despite using Warlock Rock, these long cooldowns, we talk about how FTD are going to have a good fast-paced lineup to punish it. That only comes into play once they get their items. They're still in like the farming state. They don't have Sanking Blink, they don't have PL's Diffusal, they don't have... Storm has a Kaya. I guess he's kind of ready to fight, but it's Super on the DK who's just going to keep on pushing towers.
Monet moving forward here. The Leshrac is in the area. They have the global, but he's just getting stunned. He's getting hit. He's going to get killed off. They do lose the Void, but the Stomp is there for the follow-up, and James starting to fall down low as well. Can the Zeus escape from the damage from the Disco Pony? No siree.
Storm shows up a little bit too late to be of service there. Should have maybe... I think the global had only just come up that second here, as Roger used it, the second was available. PL, if he knew that global was coming, perhaps could have turned it for it sooner. It feels like he was trying to just juke and run away, but he needed to just fight as soon as the global was used, and perhaps could have actually lived if he did that. Zeus caught him with an Arc Lightning right at the end there, and he may have actually backed off in time if he'd gotten that kill a bit faster, but ultimately a 2-for-2 trade. Doesn't feel too bad for FTD there. Storm's just able to keep on farming towards his big items. PL did finish the Diffusal as well. So we will see that PL a bit more ready to go and fight now. With a BKB queued up, he knows this Zeus and just magic damage in general is going to be the death of him. And everyone on this Radiant team is going to need BKBs at some point.
Man. Well, 15-minute runes, 3 of them going the way of FTD. They spot out the Storm again. He's been just walking over these wards, and they always have eyes on this guy. And it looks like with the Chronosphere available, they're going to try and take him down. Jump forward, Chrono Connect, Earth Splitter immediately. No fuss, no muss. That guy's dead.
Yep. Want to make sure you get the kill, the Earth Splitter being used, just in case Void gets unlucky with bashes, for example. Definitely does not feel like overkill. The Rock perhaps would have been a bit overkill, but he was holding on to that one, as Yao did not want to use it.
And you mentioned... the Blink Dagger for Sand King has it.
Yep.
Nice timing. And we didn't mention it, but the tower got denied up top by the Silencer, which was a nice little combo.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the tower he took.
No.
But yeah, no, PL took a tower that did not get denied, I believe. But yeah, Silencer's had a pretty good game. He's 1-4-3, which doesn't sound great, but I feel like he's done his job as far as trying to secure these lanes and get his level 6 at a decent time. Like, he's had a good first global silence, or good first 2 global silences, and looking to find another one as they go for a 4-man smoke. PL's going to keep on farming for now. You always want... Oh, let's say PL's going to TP bottom, but you always want at least one of your 2 carries farming. You don't want to do like a big all-in 5-man smoke.
Well, they bring in everybody now, but that is just for the kill, and I believe immediately LFY is going to TP out. I think you take that one for Afu.
Take the smoke gank?
Yeah.
It was 5 heroes splitting the gold XP, so they didn't really get much for it. And we'll see where FTD go from here. PL going to take over the bottom lane. Storm looking to go for an Orchid next. And for FTD, it kind of is a farming game. They want to play more for the late game. Even if they get a bit of a lead, they cannot push high ground against this big teamfight draft, so they're going to ultimately be having to play like a slower paced game regardless.
Epicenter top lane, and it happens so quickly. Zeus just found, he is very tanky. They're going to try and bring heroes in to help out. It looks like there are 4 heroes rotating, but this Zeus is definitely already dead. And hard to punish that.
Yeah, they were just a bit too far, and once you lose that tier 1 tower, you lose that ability to quickly and easily rotate, as he was just a bit too far away from the shrine in the tier 2. So pretty straightforward kill for FTD to get, as LFY going to have to look for their next opening. They've got most of their big ultimates back up. Chrono up in 5 seconds, so they should be looking to use these ultimates off cooldown, because that's how they, maintain their their lead, to the extent they actually don't have one yet. But if they want to start taking objectives, using DK ultimate kind of as off cooldown, they need to find ways to just keep on casting these spells and taking advantage of the fact they have way better team fight.
And I mean, would you say that this is the type of lineup where they have to make that happen, or it's like that's kind of the cherry on top that they have the nice team fight? Like, is Storm going to take over this game with the late game?
He's not guaranteed to. I think Dire Side scale just fine because these team fight spells are going to be just as scary at 40, 50 minutes as they are now at 20 minutes into the game. But it's kind of like a why not use them scenario where you're going to get key kills with them and then also be able to push out lanes, take some towers. There's no need to play the farming game when you can use a Chronosphere to get some kills or use a Warlock or an ET Ultimate to get some kills. You may as well do that.
All right. I feel like these two have just been joined at the hip over and over again. Sand King, Leshrac. Everywhere they go, they hang out together. To be expected.
The two heroes that need to be creating space for the PL Storm. Silencer's not a hero that ultimately is going to be playing aggressive. He's just looking to global silence whenever his teammates do risky stuff. Like the Sand King Lesh are going to go diving in for kills. They may die a bit. They may feed this game, but as long as the PL and Storm are staying alive and continuing to grow in terms of their itemization, it's not too big of a deal. But
Vision right now. They do see Monet.
One of those games where Vision is going to be very key. It can be a deciding factor for like the Void, whether or not he gets some good chronos off, whether or not he can catch someone like the Storm Spirit, as we saw bottom lane, because they had a ward, they get the kill.
Jump forward here. Super. Caught for the moment. They have Vision with that Thunder God's Wrath and realize...
It's DK, that's not a squishy support. Even a Void they could kill, but this DK has 2k health with a hood.
Yeah. That is Dragon Form popped. We have sometimes seen the DKs just pop it and then go about their farming business. It's kind of hard to make any objective gaming work. Like, you don't want to run into Roche right now or try and force a tower. So we'll see if he just farms out the enemy jungle, and looks like that's going to be the case.
Yep. Took the bounty runes in the process as FTD took the 2 bottom, and they are going to go back in top. Nicely done. It's the SK Lesh again. They're getting these kills in the dangerous side of the map. They keep on playing up here, and this is just so good for FTD. Even if Sand King dies here, it looks like there's no escape from with the Earth Splitter being used. Doesn't matter that FTD lose 1 to kill a Zeus here. Perhaps if they lose a second... Oh, no! Oh, Monet! He had an idea of where the Leshrac was. He just didn't quite have the vision on him. Airballs the chrono.
That tree, though. Damn. Yeah, that is that's a problem. And with these big team fight lineups, they know we don't need to be worried about almost anything.
Even if they kill the Lesh there, that still feels okay for FTD.
Well, a stun there onto the Storm Spirit, brought down to somewhat low HP. This DK out of mana now, and they're bringing in Yao. The global comes out. He does have rock.
Yeah, that was not the best global. They just don't have damage to kill this DK. I think they have to ignore him. Even if he seems alone, it's going to take so long to kill him that teammates can always rotate in to back him up in time. Not worth the effort killing him, particularly for a hero like Storm, who to kill him, you're going to have to use up 80-90% of your mana pool, and then you expose yourself to the rotations.
The pings come out. They knew where Monet was, but they were half a second too late. And that keeps him alive, as the Storm Spirit could have jumped on him afterwards. Does have not quite the Orchid completed, but still a lot of damage.
Yeah, Storm's farm is a bit slow this game. The Void chrono kills kind of hurt him. If he had a bit more farm, if he had his Orchid about completed, this game would look pretty good for FTD, but as it stands, it's neither team truly pulling ahead, and it's going to come down to whether or not LFY can execute these big teamfight ultimates.
The Atos root follow up by the Dragon Tail, and that is going to be another Sand King kill, but as you mentioned, this is not the Storm Spirit or the PL that's dying.
Yeah, Sand King Lesh will keep playing up top. The only time you'll see like a PL or a Storm up there is if, you know, LFY is showing themselves in bottom or mid and they know it's safe. It's PL Storm taking the safe, easy farm. Sand King Lesh going for these risky parts of the map. Sand King very good at pushing lanes, as is Leshrac, and they're the ones who are showing themselves and allowing themselves to get ganked because they understand that's their job this game. So even though FTD are giving away these kills, I think they have a very solid game plan. But LFY, their lineup just looks a little bit scary. They're about to get a Roshan now. They still have all these big teamfight ultimates to play around, and you may just be getting kills on Sand King Lesh, but at some point, even if PL Storm are farming, can they ever really beat these big ultimates? That's going to be the big question.
maybe a heart is going to be one of the ways. You talked about PL just wanting to get super tanky this game. He is very close to it at this stage. And even if he doesn't necessarily do a ton of damage, it's not necessarily like he has to.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the diffusal into heart, into BKB build, but this is a game you want to do it. Absolutely. All that matters for him is surviving. You're going to do damage by surviving too, just naturally. You've got this Diffusal Blade, so the utility of being able to burn all these LFY heroes' mana is not to be underrated, particularly heroes like Void, who want to rely on mana to keep using Time Walk to escape. DK, without mana, isn't able to keep on using Dragon Tails, so it's very annoying to play against this Diffusal PL. Even if he's not killing you sometimes, he just makes you feel kind of useless.
Oh, and they found themselves the Sand King, so he is going to be Burrow struck. The Atos always so effective. And
may live here thanks to the global.
Oh,
He gets
nice
to blink
blink
out.
away.
Don't know if that's really worth it, but it's not the worst. It's more like what are LFY going to get done now, because global is down. I think for FDD, they weren't looking to fight into Aegis regardless, so I mean, does it change anything that you use global? Not really, because with or without global, you don't want a team fight right now.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it just gives LFY that extra confidence to feel comfortable pushing down lanes, but
Absolutely. They may theoretically even start chipping away at the high ground here. Whether or not they stop at this tier 2, we'll have to wait and see.
yeah, they do still have that Aegis on the Void. The Ag Scepter was picked up for the Zeus as well. It's a hell of a lot of damage.
I love that he rushes this too. It's just going to give them this pick-off potential. I think right now the biggest struggle they have is finding these picks. Zeus is starting to use ultimate off cooldown. I think that's something he should have been doing earlier. It's just using Zeus ult whenever available. Now he started doing it.
They're trying to fight into this without global right now.
It's risky. Oh, Sand King revealed himself.
Oh, this
The
is...
gig is up.
They need to get the hell out of here ASAP.
They needed the surprise factor, and they needed to jump Zeus/Warlock. I don't know which one's bigger priority, but those two heroes need to die at the start of the fight. At least one of those two needs to die immediately. Even ET's pretty big priority because of how valued the Spirit within Natural Order is. And the Stomp is just adding so much extra lockdown in these fights. But just a tier 2 tower, and FTD kind of maintain this even game. 25 minutes in, they're picking up bounty runes, they're keeping lanes pushed out. LFY is like the heavy 5-man team, whereas FTD have managed to play more of the map.
And you can see, relatively speaking, in net worth, very even. Experience is also relatively even.
Yep.
And the call is now from Warlock and from Super, let's push out these lanes. Let's get ourselves in position to take the rest of the tier 2s.
This is going to come down to LFI's ability to hunt heroes, which is where ET's Atos, very good item pickup, good catch against Storm, Sand King. All these heroes sets up your Stomp as well. Monet has a Shadow Blade queued up. I like that he's prioritizing pick-off over dealing with illusions. He also has the Maelstrom Mjolnir queued up after that, but the Shadow Blade to me is the more important item. Zeus has got this Ag Scepter, didn't get any items leading up to it, other than the typical Arcane Sol Ring, so they are just going to be using Zeus ult, using Nimbus to try find kills wherever they can on the map.
And now, moving right down mid lane, they have Super's ultimate back-off cooldown in 12 seconds. It's like clockwork, the way that this guy plays this hero.
Yep.
And
he is always using his ultimate, it feels like. A lot of DK players just aren't as active in using it, but he is all the time.
oh, Raji, do they find him? They jump up. They're able to not quite get him.
Dang.
Oh, man.
Guessed wrong with the Nimbus. Should have perhaps TP'd sooner. Not a big kill even if they get it. A Silencer is the 5 position. Wouldn't have turned into an objective because you're finding a kill on your side of the map. But ultimately, you want to find any kills you can get because you're getting pretty annoyed by FTD's shenanigans at this point.
And
They're just kind of pulling you around the map and
they're
not allowing
going
you to use your team fight.
for this kill onto Dragon Knight. This man has a BKB.
This doesn't work. There's no way they get this kill, right?
I'm not sure exactly what the game plan was here.
I don't know. Whoever made that call should not be doing that. DK. Oh, he's still in the
TP'd
Nimbus.
out in the Nimbus.
Ay.
All right. Well, if he somehow escapes from this, there's no way.
I'm pinging the trees there. They seem to know.
Space created. Yeah. That's epicenter down. I don't know if that matters too much, but
Nah, that doesn't matter right now. But it's like a pretty minor mistake in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's not going to cost them too much, but it's a big mistake in the sense, like, he shouldn't even try go for that. We've seen how many times the DK's been able to survive the magic damage and the burst of FTD. Like, some quick maths should very quickly tell them, you know, there is 0 chance we get this kill. DK got down to like a 3rd health, not even.
I wonder if it was literally just space creation. I'll chalk it up to that for now. Like,
Yeah,
all right, we're
yeah.
going to throw our bodies at them to
Okay.
make us stop. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you force a rotation, and then if you TP out, you're like, well, they all rotated, we TP'd out.
Yeah.
And like you asked, like the epicenter cooldown doesn't actually matter, so using epicenter is not a big deal.
The Shadow Blade reveal, they found themselves the PL Nimbus on top of it immediately. They couldn't get the global out in time. He's going to doppelganger away, trying to live through this still. They have the Atos. There's the rock. They catch him out, not able to doppelganger away because of the root. And now they're chasing down 4 more. Beyond in trouble as well. Can they hunt him down in time? There's the time walk forward. They're still jumping for this one. Meanwhile, Storm Spirit on the back side of this fight isn't going to be able to find a kill onto the Warlock. They can't quite catch the root
Dodges
there.
the Atos as well from the ET.
Man.
That saves his life. And PL's buyback should be able to get a couple of kills here. If Zeus can TP out, though, oh, not in time. PL gets 1 kill. Doesn't fully justify the buyback, I feel. It doesn't feel great just for a Zeus, perhaps if you can go into the Roshan pit right now, but even that doesn't sound too great against an ET. I think it's a little bit too risky for them.
That's 2 minutes anyways until it's even possible to respond, so that is, I would call that a win here. I mean, the PL not having buyback might not matter that much once he gets his BKB.
Yeah. See there, if he has a BKB, he's able to be kept alive by the global. He just needed like a BKB there to stop the follow-up disables and spells. Oh, Void mid.
Burrow strike, but the stomp coming out to interrupt it. Great Yule Scepter. Mone's still able to live, though.
That gets away. The Glimmer Cape also helping him out. Had the Arcane Rune as well. Those lower mana costs. And see FTD back off. This game still very much up in the air. Neither team has truly pulled ahead just yet.
We did kind of see the power, though, of that late game. If Global is down, how quickly somebody could die in a chrono.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Heart of Trask will not save you necessarily. The Global is what will help keep you alive. See the power of this Atos on Afu as well, having this root against PL as well, a hero that no longer can doppelganger out of roots.
Yeah, especially even in the chrono, it's an answer for the Global in a way, too.
Good scan. They see them coming to contest these runes. They're like, well, we're getting top runes. I don't think LFY is going to let us get bottom runes as well, right? And I think FTD made a very good heads-up call there to get the hell away from this bottom side of the map.
BKB almost there for PL.
Yep. And they're getting close to some decent items here. And they've got 4 heroes with good farm. The Sand King, Leshrac are kind of playing this 3.5 style where they're kind of splitting the farm. Both of them are taking turns pushing out lanes. They're often playing together, but both of those heroes sitting around this like 9k net worth mark, similar to the Zeus. And Leshrac definitely scales very well with farm this game. Sand King perhaps a little bit less so, but getting those team items, the blink into pipe. He's going to have a 4-staff next, so I do like where they're headed as far as their itemization. Would love to see these Aeon Discs. Aeon Discs against the Void, even if someone gets hit by a DK stun or an ET Stomp, just bails you out in these big team fights when you get caught by one of those big ultimates.
Oh, they found him again onto this storm, but the Sand King stun, trying to keep him alive. They managed to find the bash. Global comes afterwards. Yeah. Might have been coming off of cooldown there, but regardless, it's maybe going to be another one here. In some trouble. Bottom lane, there's also a Battle of Bruin as they're taking down the Silencer, able to take him out.
Monet might die here, though. He's out of mana.
The Earth Splitter goes through, but it's not going to be enough. But bottom lane is where the push is coming.
Yeah, they're going high ground here. You got to get back and defend, and have they even got TPs? They're putting them into their inventory now. PL, got to get back, mate.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. The ET maybe could have stuck around to try and break TPs, but it looks like instead, as the TPs come back, LFY going to retreat. Probably the right decision.
Super can just pop his BKB. They're a little bit afraid. They're going to run right into Leshrac. They should be able to get this kill.
Turn in for him, and Bloodstone deny. He just got that Bloodstone.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking running into those heroes from behind. I feel like there was some miscommunication there on FTD side where Leshrac and PL perhaps wanted to fight, but Sand King had no health. He was sitting on about 400 or 500 health, and he's the key initiator there. If he's not willing to go in, you can't fight that one, and Leshrac and Sand King not on the same page. For the most part, this game, they've always been working in tandem, but this time, they definitely both had different ideas.
Looks like Dragon Knight taking the regen talent as well as the armor, which is definitely a nice one. It's going to be hard for PL to bite into him. And even to some extent the Storm, since a lot of his damage is magical in this one. I don't know. This could be a little bit damage lacking for Super.
We'll see how he goes. Yeah, without the GPM talent, you itemize a bit slower, but Bloodthorn is queued up. He's already got the Orchid, so
he's still top net worth.
Yep,
he's had a great game.
He has.
Movement in, they find the blink away. Quick fingers from Super, and now the chase forward, they find themselves the Warlock, but interrupting it. The Glimmer Cape is out as well. He's living for the moment, trying to get to the Shrine. Not going to happen. Looking for more to the side here as Leshrac finding this ET and starting to bring him down low. That's a buyback from the Warlock, though. They need to be careful about the Rock as he's TPing into this one. They have the Epicenter out. The Rock connects onto 3. Not sure if it's going to be of damage. And there's the Chronosphere. It connects onto 2. The Warlock. Can they kill off these heroes? The Storm dies in the duration of the Chrono. They find the Bashes. Can they kill this guy off? Dragon Knight doing a good bit there as they find the PL. Done and dusted. 5 dead.
Well, it took him a lot of buybacks, but the end result you got to feel pretty good about if you're LFY. 5 heroes down, about 1,000 gold change, which isn't all too much considering the team wipe, but that is the cost of those triple buybacks. But triple buybacks from your supporting cast, the DK, the Void, the 2 main carries, both of them stay alive throughout it all. You set yourselves up to now take Roshan off of that, and once you have this Aegis Cheese, you can kind of just reset, wait for your cooldowns to come back up. So definitely liked seeing the buybacks. I don't know if they needed all of them. I think Monet's Chronosphere was so good that they were going to die even if only maybe one of those heroes bought back, but better safe than sorry. LFY taking a decent-sized lead here in game number 1.
And it's so important, too, just like looking at the amount of damage that he was still able to do out. Those couple of bashes that he got in there did not take the time lock damage, but did take the 25 damage, and then Maelstrom, Mask of Madness. It's really important that he's been able to farm as efficiently as he has.
Yeah, he's, I think, itemized very well this game. The Shadow Blade into the Mjolnir is perfect. Absolutely agree with his item build here. The talents as well make complete sense.
Was the ET alive near them when they went in that Chrono? Because I felt like they were taking a... Maybe it was
he'd bought back. I think he was one of the people who bought back but didn't really need to buy back.
Okay.
The fight was just won with the Chrono, so he had to TP in. I didn't see where he ended up after the buyback, but most likely didn't actually add that much damage.
Well, Dragon Knight now currently still topping the net worth chart, and they find themselves the Silencer. He has Global, but you hate to have to use it right now. This might be a little bit scary if they try and force the issue here, since he could buy back and Global.
Yep. Radiant Courier even went down somewhere there, so they are looking to go high ground here. Some ultimates still on cooldown, but Chrono's back up, just really the Warlock ultimate that they're on hold for.
Oh, and that's Creep Wave mostly down. And with the Silencer buyback, it looks like they're going to call off the charge now. Still, that's a couple of buybacks down. PL is going to have his off cooldown the next 40 seconds.
I think the big thing for FTD is finding a way to kill heroes during their BKBs, which right now we saw they can definitely kill Warlock, but even Warlock is not like a quick, easy kill. He's got 1,500 health, he's got the wand, the Glimmer Cape, you're going to have to bring Dust. ET's about to become hard to kill, he's got a BKB queued up, he's not too far away from, so not being able to kill heroes during BKB is going to be a big problem for FTD this game. Like, Storm goes in, he wants to just insta-kill someone, but no one feels all that squishy on the Dire side.
Well, and it's also this situation, too, where before you had, you know, a Silencer that even after the duration of the BKBs in previous games would have some decent damage from Glaives of Wisdom. Then he only has 6 intelligence stolen. He keeps on dying at the start of these fights. It's tough.
There's not much scaling coming out of him, and it's just going to get harder and harder. Zeus is about to have a BKB, so everyone on the Dire side is about to have an answer to the Global Silence. Well, just going to make life very difficult for not just the Silencer, but even heroes like Sand Leshrac in these upcoming fights. Lesh has been scouted by the Zeus ulti Nimbus, but will go for the TP out in time.
Yeah. While that was happening, meanwhile, you do take a look at that Bloodthorn on DK. The only real answer that you have for it on Storm Spirit is popping the BKB. So once that's down, he's got to be so careful about this DK and where he's positioned.
Yeah. Kind of wants to avoid the DK at all costs in these fights. He can't ever kill the DK because of how tanky he is. He's got that double armor and regen. Needs to be careful at bowling in. If DK's fast, he could get that Bloodthorn on. Trying to just deal with the creep waves though, and They're going to try to jump the silencer once again. Oh, he didn't get the blink stun.
That was close.
Yeah, he had the vision there with the high ground ward. That ward not being discovered yet by any Radiant sentries. And I feel like that Blinken kind of reveals there's a ward somewhere, but Rogi has not been able to find it.
They again jump out as he didn't kill off the creep wave, and now the pressure is going to come.
Yeah, it takes it out now, but and backdoor protection's down, but you don't really want to put your heroes on the high ground here. You're just going to get spammed by Sand King stuns, Leshrac stuns. They're not going to commit for these kills, but the stuns and spam is just a little bit annoying and gets you down low into a position where you could be initiated on.
Well, he needs to be a little bit careful. If he shows up top, then we might see Radiant make some type of play. I guess it's still into Aegis and Cheese. It doesn't feel great.
I don't think we'll see them actually break high ground with this Aegis, but third Roshan, Refresher Shard, LFY have kind of complete control of the map now. Their vision, both cliffs outside the Radiant base have been warded, the 2 common ward spots. Nothing fancy with these wards, but just doing the basics right. You know, let's just get vision. If they leave the base, we're going to see them. We can secure next Roshan. I say that. FTD, though, are looking to throw a spanner at LFY.
Oh, they're going to run into Inflame first and foremost, but they do have the Stomp that's going to be there immediately as the Global Silence comes out. BKB is out as well, and what do you do now? You can't do anything.
Storm went on DK in his BKB. That was so awkward. He saw... Like, they kind of went on the Zeus, but because Zeus has a BKB, Storm just like, what do I do? Do I right-click a Zeus? Like, I'm not going to kill him with right clicks there, and because Zeus has a BKB, there's just no plays that FTD can make, and all Storm can try and do is get, like, some more items here and, like, a Hex to stop those BKBs coming out.
To me, that would have felt better if they didn't use Global also, because now the Global's down, and they didn't use anything on LFI with the exception of the BKB on Zeus. Like, wait for that duration to be up and head in.
They do lose their Aegis, but I think for LFY, there's just no sense of urgency because they feel firmly that they now do have the better late game lineup, and there's nothing that can really lose them fights.
Monet is hunting again, though.
Yeah. Can he find this Leshrac? The Zeus ultimate was used.
A little bit off the mark there, Lesh.
You might see Lesh soon if Lesh uses any spells, but it's not the case. Lesh is going for bounty runes.
This guy, James, he knows where he's at.
Yeah, some sneaky stuff from him. Will he die for the bounty runes?
God, if he gets away with these, Void is going to be so mad.
Yeah, Void's going to go there in 2 seconds.
Oh, no, he's so angry.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to miss both of them.
Is he going to time walk Chrono? No. Too late.
Oh,
the Nimbus.
It almost got him.
It was half a second too late. That would have actually been a kill too once you cancel that TP. Sand King up top. Just burrow in, burrow out. T gets gone on here. He does not have his BKB yet.
Oh, there's the gem. A lot of damage, but Afu living through it. Oh, and they're looking. He's out of mana. Storm is getting chased down here. They got to be careful. Monet is moving forward, and they do manage to find him. Chronosphere immediately, and he's done.
Yep. Nowhere splitter needed. Monet hunts him down. Storm is just feels so useless because he can't hurt anyone. They're just incredibly tanky. DK unkillable because he's a DK. Void's, got BKB Time Walk. Everyone's going to have a BKB soon except the Warlock, who has a Glimmer Cape, which is a very frustrating item to deal with as a Storm Spirit because you just don't want to have to carry dust around. And it's just making life very difficult. Storm needs to stop going for all these, I think, kills by himself. He needs to play around the Sand King Leshrac more, even the PL. Feels like the PL's been very quiet this game, but as it stands, LFY once again are going to start poking away at this high ground.
This is the super classic. Just tank the tower and punch it down as Storm Spirit buys back, immediately jumping away. They're chasing them out. Afu in trouble. He is going to die. They also have the Warlock here, Silence, but that's going to be the Nimbus doing a ton of damage there to the Storm. Not able to kill him off. They take down the Nimbus now. Everybody trying to run away. They have Beyond, but he gets the Sandstorm off now as well. Dragon Knight in some trouble. They need to get the hell out of here as they buy back on 2. Are they really trying to come back and fight this?
I don't think they want to. That's such a good team fight for FTD. And this, to me, highlights this team's kind of biggest weaknesses, but at the same time, how they should play this draft. Like, they've been trying way too hard, the Storm specifically, to just make plays by himself. Look what happens when you fight as a team. Let Sand King and Leshrac go first. Trust in your teammates more. It just feels like love you, love me. Feels like he has to do everything on his own, when that's entirely not the case. Leshrac has a Bloodstone BKB. Sand King, Blink, 4-staff Pipe. Let him initiate. He goes in, he stuns a couple people, he can then 4-staff away, come back in 10 seconds later with another stun. and let these heroes get people low before you go in for the cleanup. Storm, if he's going in when people are full health, is never getting kills. Great team fight from FDD, and they need to do more of that. They need to just play as a 5-man squad and get these good initiations on the back lines.
Well, and on the side of LFY, also maybe need to protect your cores a little bit, or protect your teammates a little bit better on. We did also see here that it's going to be a 2-minute-long Roche respawn. Oh, Monet, he's found himself the Sand King. Just going to go for an easy kill here. And, well, not really any way to stop this one from happening. Unless he just walks away. There it is.
Zeus will be like, all right, I'll take that one if you want. I think at this stage, you LFY, you fine with a kill like that. You're waiting next Roshan. It's Refresher Shard time. Your Void's close to level 25. Imagine some other heroes probably close to some big talents. Zeus is also close to 25. DK's 23.5.
That 25 XP gain talent at 10 really helping him. So the Lightning Bolt mini stun and looking for the Octarine. A minute till Roche with the Refresher Shard on it.
Yeah, ET plus Warlock are about to hit their level 20s. So some small little power spikes coming the way of LFY. But the biggest is, of course, the Aegis Cheese Refresher, if they can get that one. I would expect and hope that FTD try and make them fight their way for it.
And the one scary thing about this, too, is you just bought back on 2 heroes that are going to be so important for that Roche fight, the Warlock and the ET.
Absolutely. You lose these heroes now, that could just be Roshan no longer in your hands. So we'll see how that affects things moving forward.
Oh, but he gets to summon a Golem on death. Don't worry, everything's fine.
Dying as his friend now.
Monet.
Oh, he got an Arcane Rune, so he'll be happily looking for a Chronosphere when that comes right back up. If he can get it with the Arcane, it'll have that nice short cooldown.
Going for the Lincoln Sphere next on this Faceless Void. Picks up a DD to boot. Yeah, he would love to catch anybody in a Chronosphere right about now. Roche is up. It is time to party for these guys. And like you said, FTD definitely need to contest this one.
Oh, yeah. We'll see if PL can get that level 25 talent before Roche fight. The Doppelganger cooldown sounds incredibly good this game. Illusions, just being able to, having that very low cooldown is just going to allow him to maneuver so much better around all these annoying spells like Echo Stomp, the Void chasing you down as well, the Zeus, more illusions, just more fun for him. And he's itemized to go this survivable build. I don't think there's any reason to get this crit talent this game.
They smoke up on the low ground. They find themselves an illusion. A little unfortunate. Now the Burrow Strike, they're controlling that Faceless Void. Not bad at the start, but he gets a 2-man Chronosphere. But Super kind of isolated in his BKB. Don't know if they have enough damage. They've already taken out 2. No buyback on Leshrac. Snaking force the buyback. Can they kill him off? The Warlock is going to go down, but the Golem was summoned on death, and now they're trying to take down this PL. They realize this is the real one. He's done! 90 seconds.
He just dies to time dilation because he couldn't doppelganger away because of that long cooldown.
Oh.
He needs something to get rid of it. If he's going to BKB early like that, because he gets time dilated after the BKB, he needs a Manta or something in that scenario.
Or just to save his doppelganger until after time dilation's the other one. So
Zeus gets gone on though. That's a big kill. He's not got buyback. Dead for 2 minutes.
The stomp, though. The stomp from Afu yet again. He finds them all. Can they kill off this PL? That's going to be a tough one. They managed to find the silence now onto this Void. He's starting to drop down low as well. Can they make this work? He's doing so much damage. Super with the triple kill. Makes it happen as his ulti wears off.
That was perfect timing. If they just waited a little bit longer to go back in, FTD could have perhaps taken that fight without the Dragon form, but DK with the splash damage, had the crits from the Bloodthorn as well, and he's not done. He's just going to go in on Leshrac.
Super is a madman, and he does it beautifully as he's just going to pummel these guys down, forces out the BKB runaway.
I don't even think he's scared of this silencer buyback. That's a 5-position silencer buying back on you. You do not run away from him.
He still has his BKB.
Yep, it's a 5-second one, so you don't care about using it to get something like a Rax here.
Oh, and Monet comes back in as well. They've got all the damage in the world. They know these guys do not have buybacks right now. And LFY looking to take this game number 1, if at all possible.
DK ulti's back up. They can just get probably mega creeps here, I feel like. PL dead for 70, Storm for 40. They don't need to stop.
And I love this call. So many times in these China qualifiers, we've seen teams go back for Roche or something else like that. They know that this is their time to take it right now. And as you said, gonna go for the second lane of barracks, probably for the third one as well. LFY played that team fight beautifully.
They back out, I guess, for Roshan.
I had to jinx it, didn't I?
Yeah. This seems a mix on this one. There is going to be 4 heroes alive very soon.
Yeah.
So I think given that, and they went for the range racks. I think if you're going to go, you could have gone for the 3 melee raxes, but once you start killing these range raxes, it adds a bit of time. I think if you're in the game 2 lanes, though, they should have taken Roche faster because we're going to see Radiant Team respawn and smoke up right away. They're not waiting for the PL. They're looking to jump.
They do have Chrono, though, and all of the, like, Warlock ulti is here as well.
This is so risky.
Yeah.
But they're going for it. They know PL is going to be respawning. Problem is there's no shrine anymore. Killing that shrine actually makes it so that the PL cannot TP into this fight.
He's going to start walking there probably, but the movement in, they realize that Roche could be going down. Love you, love me, not loving this game. And FTD.
Oh, it's LFY's turn to smoke now. They know where the storm is. They saw him ball
Oh my
in
god,
with the
are they going to
shivers.
go for the PL? They see that the PL is here. They could decide to run for him instead. It looks like they're going to take the fight without him instead. Walking forward, there's the Sand King. They get him right at the start. Global is coming out, and there's going to be the root, so he can't burrow strike away. Just too much damage coming out. Can they kill him off? Yes, indeedy duty. Done, and the Chronosphere connects onto the
Just a
silencer.
silencer, but you take that. It's still 2 heroes dead, and now that the Chrono is being used, I think you just say, let's back off, take Roshan. We're not going to risk the high ground push. We didn't kill a core hero, so take Roshan. Go push with Refresh Shot.
And Super has 5,000 HP now. He just picked up a heart.
Yeah, Super is owning so hard this game on the DK, showing great capabilities to play this one. James on Lesh is actually caught out here.
And he has his BKB. Just going to try and survive through this one. Yule Scepter dodge the sun. Going to TP away. Does it in time?
Yeah, just barely.
There's going to be the Aegis Refresher Shard given to
The Void.
Ah, yes.
I think that's the best hero to have it on. Warlock's kind of going to get jumped on and often dies near the start of these fights. And just double Chrono's scarier than double Chaotic Offering at this point.
Man, LFY. After a disappointing, I'm sure, for them, having to play through the tiebreakers out of the group stage and then not putting on a great performance in day number 1, they're showing up big in game number 1 of this.
Yep. Oh, Courier's going to run over a creep wave. They should be able to snipe this, but does sneak by. They really want to get this PL's item.
Oh. Hey, glyph it.
That's a big one if they can get it. They may actually try and chase it down. Unfortunately, it's very hard to do so along the side of the map.
Monet would have chronoed it if he had it. I don't think that works. Anyways, 50 minutes.
Oh, you can chrono Couriers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They'll get stuck in it.
That's my new strat, guys.
Yeah. I think it's honestly, I think it's worth chronoing that Courier. And then you go push when he doesn't have his item.
That is never a sentence I thought I'd heard you say.
He's got Refresher Shard, you know. It's fine.
Make it happen.
Take away a PL item for a game-deciding team fight. Why not?
And he does get that item.
LFY is something 25k gold lead. This game was neck and neck for pretty much 40+ minutes.
Now Super daring anybody to come at him. He deals 500, 600 damage a pop with this.
Yeah, this double damage rune is
Oh
a big problem.
My lord.
Someone needs to run in and Yules him or something.
Look at this. They can't do anything. Monet just jumps forward. Is going to solo Chrono 1. Might get one shot here as Super ready to pummel away at these folks as he walks forward. Look at the damage beyond. Didn't stand a chance. They're all falling apart. PL can't create illusions. It is far too much damage coming out from this Dragon Knight. And if they want to, they can focus down the rest of them. There's going to be the time dilation. 17 seconds on Doppelganger. Eat your heart out as they take down these last lane of barracks. Yao getting isolated, but he's caught in the Venn diagram of pain. And a triple kill from Super is going to end this game.
It's over. What a strong performance from LFY in game 1. Showing that teamfight truly is what matters most in these series. I feel like it's been a kind of consistent theme that these teams with the inferior teamfight lineup just lack that bit of execution to play around like this more split push style. When you got to avoid teamfights and like pick and choose your fights very carefully, these kind of tier 1.5 teams just aren't as good at that. And that's something where we've seen a few times. Yeah, just pick all the teamfight. That's why they pick Void first too. We haven't seen many first 2 picks on Void, but it's great. I think it's a fantastic pick in this game.
Yeah, I think that also you got to start thinking like, it's so weird because I remember some people were talking about, do we just ban all of Super's heroes? The Dragon Knight, though, like I think he has the most games played of this than any other professional player. He played it really well. Maybe it was just the general overall like decision making of a team, but it's like the whole team playing around it well. It feels like.
Yeah. A last pick, Zeus, was kind of the X factor. He tops the damage charts as you would expect, doing Zeus things there. He got the refresher shot in the end in that last fight. Definitely played pretty well. Also, I just feel like they picked this Storm to address the Zeus, but it never really managed to kind of truly get on top of him. Once Zeus got a BKB, this game just felt like there was nothing Storm could do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our game number 1. For the Dream, backs up against the wall. They're going to need to contend with LGD.Forever Young. This game number 2. Try and pull it back with a date with Destiny and IG for a spot at TI8. Stick around. Be right back with game number 2.